Hi, I'm April. After losing my husband Frank to cancer 3 years ago, I've been living alone in our family home, the same one we bought 40 years ago when we were young and full of dreams. It's quiet now, but I've made peace with the silence. My son Daniel visits every Sunday with his wife Rebecca and my precious granddaughter Emma. It's the highlight of my week, watching Emma play in the same backyard where Daniel once built forts and chased fireflies. Mom, we brought lunch! Daniel called out last Sunday, walking in without knocking as usual. He was wearing a new golf shirt that probably cost more than my monthly grocery bill. And I brought cookies for after. Emma raced past her father, throwing her little arms around my waist. You're spoiling us, sweetheart. I kissed the top of her head while Rebecca set down shopping bags on my kitchen counter. We had to stop by that new boutique on Main Street, Rebecca said, flashing her wrist to show off a gleaming bracelet. Daniel, show your mother what I got you. Daniel pulled out a designer watch, the kind they advertise in glossy magazines. Rebecca has great taste, doesn't she? It's lovely. I smiled, thinking about the conversation we'd had just 2 weeks earlier when Daniel asked if I could help with Emma's school tuition because they were a little tight this month. After lunch, Rebecca sighed dramatically while looking at my bills on the counter. These utility companies are just robbing everyone blind. Our heating bill was outrageous this month. Maybe you should turn down the heat in that big house of yours. I couldn't help myself. Mom, not everyone wants to live in a freezer. Daniel rolled his eyes. Speaking of money, did that pension check come in yet? I nodded. Thursday, like always. Banking it or keeping cash around? His question seemed casual, but something in his tone made me uneasy. A little of both. Why? Just curious. You know how I worry about you being alone with cash in the house? Later, Emma asked to stay overnight, a special treat we both enjoy. After stories and cookies, I tucked her into the guest bed that's practically hers now. Just as I was turning off the light, her small hand grabbed mine. Grandma? Her voice was barely a whisper. What is it, sweetie? Mommy and Daddy are coming back tonight to take your money. Her eyes were wide, serious. I heard them talking. Daddy said you keep cash in your blue book. My heart sank. My blue book was an old Bible where I kept emergency cash. Something only Daniel would know. They said you'd be sleeping and wouldn't know, Emma continued, her voice trembling. I kept my expression calm. Thank you for telling me, sweetheart. Don't worry about it. After kissing her goodnight, I went downstairs, my mind racing. Instead of confronting them, a different plan formed. I turned off most lights but left my bedroom lamp on. Then I settled into the dark living room to wait. My own son, planning to rob me. Well, let's see how that works out for him. I sat in the darkness, my mind racing back to all those little moments that never quite added up. The silver earrings Frank gave me for our 30th anniversary, gone from my jewelry box after Daniel and Rebecca helped organize my bedroom. The $50 missing from my purse last month when Rebecca borrowed it to get a tissue. The emergency cash in my kitchen drawer that somehow had less in it every time they visited. By 7 a.m., with Emma still asleep upstairs, I called my neighbor and closest friend, Marjorie. You're not going to believe this, I whispered into the phone, keeping my voice down. April? What's wrong? You sound terrible. Can you come over? I need your help with something delicate. 30 minutes later, Marjorie was at my kitchen table, coffee mug in hand, her eyes wide as I explained what Emma had told me. Those sneaky little rats, Marjorie hissed. And with that new car in their driveway, I knew something wasn't right. I've been so blind, Marjorie. All those times things went missing. Stop that right now. You trusted your son. That's what mothers do. She tapped her fingers on the table. So what's your plan? Police? Not yet. I want proof first. Smart girl. What do you need from me? 2 things. Those mini cameras your son installed at your place after the break-ins. Can I borrow a couple? And do you still have that invisible ink marker from your teaching days? Marjorie grinned. I'll be back in 20 minutes. While she was gone, I did a thorough inventory. My diamond pendant, missing. The collectible coins Frank had saved, 3 gone. The cash in my blue book was down by at least $200 from what I remembered. When Marjorie returned, we got to work. We placed one tiny camera on my bookshelf aimed at the blue book, another in the hallway facing my bedroom, and a third in the living room. These connect to an app on your phone, Marjorie explained, showing me how to access the feeds. Motion activated, night vision, the works. Next, we marked all my remaining cash with invisible ink that would show up under the small UV light Marjorie brought. One more thing, I said, pulling out my daily pill organizer. I need to make them think I'm completely knocked out tonight. What's your plan? I'll mention my new sleeping pills to Daniel when he picks up Emma. Make a big show of taking one before they leave. I smiled grimly. But I won't really take it. Marjorie squeezed my hand. Want me to stay with you tonight? No, I need to do this alone. But can you keep your phone on? Just in case. After Marjorie left, I spent the day with Emma, trying to act normal while my stomach tied itself in knots. When Daniel arrived that afternoon, I made sure to yawn dramatically. You look tired, Mom, he said, eyeing me closely. New sleeping pills. Doctor says they'll help with my insomnia. I patted the prescription bottle I'd placed conspicuously on the counter. Knock me right out within an hour. Sleep like the dead, apparently. Daniel's eyes flickered to the bottle, then away. That's good. You need your rest. As they left, Emma hugged me tight, her eyes worried. I whispered in her ear, Everything will be fine, sweetheart. Grandma has a plan. That night, I turned on my bedroom light, made noise moving around, then shut it off at exactly 9 p.m. Instead of going to bed, I settled into the dark corner of my living room, phone in hand, watching the camera feeds. Now all I had to do was wait. Near midnight, headlights swept across my window. I gripped my phone tighter, watching the camera feed as Daniel used his emergency key to let himself and Rebecca in. Shh, Daniel whispered. Mom's definitely out by now. Those pills knock her cold. Rebecca giggled. Good thing you switched her regular medication. That pharmacist friend of yours is a genius. My stomach dropped. They'd been tampering with my medicine? The blue book first, Daniel said. Then her purse and the cookie jar. Don't forget the jewelry box, Rebecca added. That tennis bracelet would look amazing on me. I watched them remove my Bible, taking the cash I'd stashed there. Jackpot, Daniel whispered. Must be at least 500. Rebecca pocketed the money. We need to think bigger. That reverse mortgage plan is our ticket. She's stubborn about keeping the house. That's why the medication adjustment is perfect. A few more months of those special pills and she'll be confused enough to sign anything. My hands shook with rage. They weren't just stealing. They were drugging me to take my home. Did you bring the papers? Rebecca asked. In the car. We'll tell her it's just updated insurance forms. They moved to my bedroom where Rebecca found my diamond pendant. Must be worth a couple grand. Put it back, Daniel said. We can't take that yet. She'd notice. I'd seen enough. I stepped into the hallway, turning on my flashlight. Looking for something? They froze. Rebecca dropped my pendant as Daniel's face went white. Mom, you're awake. Disappointed? I flipped on the lights. Rebecca plastered on a fake smile. April, this isn't what it looks like. Save it. I heard everything. I held up my phone. Including your plans to drug me and steal my house. Daniel stepped forward. Mom, we're just trying to help. Help yourselves to my money? We're in trouble. Daniel's voice cracked. We owe dangerous people. Gambling debts? I guessed. So you rob your own mother? It started small, Rebecca said. Just borrowing. We were going to pay it back. And the medication? Daniel looked down. It was just to help you sleep better. While making me confused enough to sign over my house? Mom, please. Daniel reached for me. Give us a chance. I stepped back. I've given you chances your entire life. This is how you repay me? What are you going to do? Rebecca's voice turned cold. Everything's recorded. And that cash? It's marked with invisible ink. You wouldn't call the cops on your own son. Try me. Now get out and hand over your key. Mom, out! The next morning, I called Thomas, my late husband's attorney and friend for 30 years. They did what? Thomas leaned forward across his desk, gray eyebrows shooting up as he watched the video on my phone. Caught them red-handed. My voice was steadier than I expected. They've been stealing for months and tampering with my medication. Thomas removed his glasses, jaw tight. That's elder abuse, April. Serious criminal charges. I know. They're my family, but nothing. If they'd succeeded with that reverse mortgage scheme, you'd be homeless while they gambled away your equity. He tapped his pen against the desk. What do you want to do? I want consequences, but I also need to protect Emma. After 2 hours with Thomas, I had a plan. He filed for emergency custody of Emma on behalf of my daughter Sarah, citing evidence of parental endangerment. Then we contacted the police about the medication tampering. 3 days later, Daniel and Rebecca were arrested leaving a casino. The marked bills from my Bible were still in Rebecca's purse, along with pills matching what they'd been substituting for my medication. The family implosion was nuclear. My brother Jack drove 4 hours to see me after hearing. How could he do this to his own mother? Jack paced my living room, fists clenched. Gambling addiction is powerful. Don't make excuses for him. You could have died from wrong medication. I sighed. I'm not excusing anything. That's why I press charges. My phone rang. Sarah calling from her home where Emma was staying temporarily. Mom, Emma wants to talk to you. A small voice came on the line. Grandma? Are Mommy and Daddy in jail because of me? My heart cracked. No, sweetheart. They made bad choices. You did the right thing telling me. They said I shouldn't have told. Sometimes grown-ups do wrong things, and other grown-ups have to stop them. That's what's happening now. Thomas arranged a supervised meeting with Daniel at the courthouse before his arraignment. My son couldn't look me in the eye. I never meant for it to go this far, he mumbled. But it did. I'm sorry, Mom. Sorry you did it. Or sorry you got caught. He had no answer. The judge granted Sarah temporary custody of Emma, with generous visitation for me. Daniel and Rebecca faced 3 felony counts each: elder abuse, theft, and medication tampering. Rebecca's parents tried damage control, offering to make everything go away with money. This isn't about money, I told them at the courthouse. It's about trust and protecting Emma from people who make these choices. I changed everything after that. New locks, security system, banking arrangements. Thomas helped me create an ironclad will and living trust that protected my assets. 6 months later, Daniel and Rebecca accepted plea deals: probation, mandatory addiction treatment, and restitution payments. They lost custody of Emma, who now thrived living with Sarah and visiting me weekends. On a sunny Saturday, Emma helped me plant flowers in my garden. Will you ever forgive Daddy? She asked, her small hands patting soil around a marigold. Forgiveness takes time, sweetheart. But I'll always love him because he gave me you. That evening, the whole family gathered at my home. Sarah, Jack, Marjorie, and Emma. For the first time in months, I felt safe. As we sat around my dining table, Emma squeezed my hand. I'm glad you're still my grandma. Always, I promised. Some things can't be stolen, and that's one of them. That's the end of April's story. What would you do if you discovered your own child was stealing from you and plotting to take your home? Would you press charges like April did, or try to handle it privately within the family? Some might say blood is thicker than water and family problems should stay private, while others believe true love means setting firm boundaries and consequences. Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you would have done in April's position. If you enjoyed this story about standing up to toxic family members, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories about people finding their strength in difficult situations. Thanks for watching.